Resolution number 2014-35, a resolution authorizing the City of Maple Heights to accept the title to 2 vacant parcels of land on Greenway Road for the land bank in the City of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This resolution is on its first reading.
Ordinance number 2014-36, an ordinance repealing Chapter 1487 of the Codified Ordinances regarding certificates of rental compliance and amending Chapter 1486 regarding the registration of rental properties in the City of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance is on its first reading. Would you turn to your expenditures over $1,000, 2014, 50 through 52, please?
Bless you.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Madam Chair.
I just called for the roll, I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, would you entertain discussion, please?
No.
Agee?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Ceferatti? Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
Present.
Trojanski?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. The mayor is not available tonight for his report, so we'll move right on to the council, which is Councilwoman Agee, District 7.
Good evening. My report was geared to the mayor, but since he's not here, and I'm going to show you guys. I just found out that he's not here today at 6:30, but my report was for the mayor, and he will hear. Okay, Ms. Russell. This is my first year on council, so you can't blame, you were talking about all the council members, so you can't blame the new council members. When you said, that the council members need to be ashamed of themselves or whatever you said, but we didn't ask you to come, I was just talking. A community life...
Oh, you're speaking to me.
I thought you wanted me to. Oh, no, I didn't. A community life committee meeting will be held on Monday, April the 21st at 6 p.m. at the Maple Heights City Hall, Room 7. The proposed agenda, number 1, we're going to try to implement a scholarship for the seniors that's going to graduate in 2015. And number 2, we're going to develop a team building technique for all 7 districts. I have several points to discuss. At the council meeting on February the 19th, the mayor stated that he was contacted by News Channel 5, and they are doing a project showcasing a block watch. And Maple Heights has a reputation for to have a very strong block watch program. The mayor recommended District 1, District 6, and District 7 to hold their neighborhood block watch showcase as an example to the community. On Friday, May the 28th, I voted no on the budget because I didn't have enough information to vote yes. On Thursday, April the 3rd, I found out from some of my constituents that the only districts that were selected was District 1 and District 6. I tried contacting the mayor by phone over a week with no response. I called Channel 5 and they connected me to Ann Russo because she's in the building department. I asked her how was the district selected, and she stated that she sent the mayor an email and he left the names of the streets on the voicemail. On Saturday, April the 12th, at the Easter Fest, I asked the mayor why District 7 was not included in the project. As he stated on February the 19th, because my constituents would like an opportunity to see how the district was selected, the mayor said Channel 5 selected the district. The mayor made a comment that took me by surprise. He stated that there are rumors that I vote like Councilman Brownlee. I would like to put that rumor to rest Before I vote, I study the issues. I'm an independent thinker, and I'm here to represent District 7. Not Bill Brownlee's district, but just District 7. So if you hear the rumors, please put them to rest, because my record speaks for me. Happy Easter, and end the report.
Thank you, Councilman. I'd appreciate it if you could hold your applause, and you're more than welcome to chat with the council people after the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I haven't called you yet. I'm waiting for the discussion behind us. It's very difficult to hear, especially Mr. Adams, so I'd appreciate it if we had a little more courtesy and you could just hold your remarks until after the reports have been made. Thank you. Councilman Adams, District 1.
Thank you. Attempted break-in on Lisa Drive. Police were called and they came to investigate. She believes it happened between 4 and 9:30. The homeowner is also a block watch captain. We will be handing out flyers. More complaints about the street conditions on most streets, especially Summit and Lisa. Complaints of suspected drug dealing on Woodbrook. I advised them to call the police non-emergency number. They haven't called. Also on Woodbrook, a resident complained about water in the basement of a foreclosed home. With the help of Councilwoman Jones, I contacted Huntington Bank Home Prevention Services. They had someone come out the next day and took care of it. Winterized the building in April and drained the basement. Complained of a deer feeder spotted in a wooded area on Summit. I contacted the new animal warden. He came out quickly, and it was on city property, so he removed it. This Friday, there'll be a fish prize, American Legion Post 309, 4 to 7. Takeouts are available. May 2nd will be the last fish fry for the season. Chief, I'd like to thank you. You've done a fine job. You should be proud of what you did, how you conducted your men. We have a fine police department kind of you, and I'm going to hate to see you go. We had a good rapport, and I'm really going to miss you. And I thank all the people that volunteered for the Easter Fest Saturday. It was assessed, and Linda Pope had put that together. The children were so happy. It's just nice to see young children, the faces that they have, smiling, laughing, and having a fun time. It was a great day for the kids in Maple Heights. What I heard tonight, and the phone calls, is disturbing. We have a budget. We passed a temporary budget because our people want to get paid. So do you when you work. You want paid when you work. That's why we passed that budget. Finance director's been here for 2 months. We didn't have the audit report. We just got it. So we decided to make sure our employees got paid. I don't know where the 4-hour notice comes from, because I know it was in the neighborhood news. It was posted at City Hall that we was having budget meetings. It was on my Facebook. I don't know where else we could go. I know everyone doesn't have a computer. I see people here tonight that has never been at a meeting. They never come to a finance meeting. In Richard's defense, in my defense, because I'm on the finance committee, we couldn't have a finance committee without all the facts. There's no way we could have a finance meeting. We gave Irene time to go through the books and wait for that audit report, which we just got. So I thank Richard for not wasting people's time coming to a meeting without facts. And Richard has set up a meeting, which he will announce. And I'm pretty sure Irene will be giving you facts. So what I heard tonight, you want to hear, come to the finance meeting. We'll be discussing the finances. A lot of things has happened. It's not a blame game. Yesterday was yesterday. Got $18 million budget. We will abide by the Ohio Constitution, and we will come in budget. We was waiting for the city income tax. We voted to give every resident in this city democratic process by their voice being heard at the ballot box. That's what we voted in, this council. You have a chance to answer at the ballot box. Majority rules. And I wish you support that tax. Everybody has their own feelings. You have to vote your conscience. This city is in trouble. We went over and over, and I'm not going to get into it about all the cuts. What we should do and what we shouldn't do. We're at this point. I hope the residents of Maple Heights helps their city so that we can get over this and move on. Thank you. Everybody have a happy Easter and God bless you.
Thank you, Alex. Councilwoman Tony Jones, District 2.
Good evening, everybody. Chief, your successor has big shoes to fit into. Is that the way to say it? It caught us all off guard, this being your last meeting. We appreciate your dedication. We appreciate your patience that you had with us with all the questions. And I'm sure everybody felt just a little bit safer at night. And I hope that whoever is your successor, they'll also use you as a mentor so that they could finish filling out your shoes and carrying on what they need to do to keep our city safe. What I heard tonight, and if you take away the sarcasm, and if you take away, well, actually, it's okay to be frustrated, because we all are frustrated. But the underlying tone, I think, from everybody that came up to the microphone, and I think everybody that's here in this room is concerned, and maybe a little bit of fear, because we want to keep our city the way it is. Can't go back. Can't have the good old days. I wish we could. But we want to be comfortable. We want to maintain our quality of life. And I really wasn't going to talk about this. I'll just mention this really quick. Today I was at a fair housing meeting. And this is, April is actually Fair Housing Month. It was established back in 1968 after the death of Martin Luther King Jr. And they were talking about people having the freedom to live where they live. We had some representatives from Eden and from CMHA, and they were talking about the voucher program and how they're trying to educate not only the tenants interviewing the landlords, but vice versa. And it was funny because I think my coworker and I attended, and we were the only two people in a room of maybe 45, 50 people that were all attorneys. And they had no clue as to what they were talking about. And us being on the ground level, and they said, you know, we want people to keep their yards clean. We want them to cut their grass. We want to have pride back in the neighborhoods. We have to lead by example, but we also, and Edwina, I don't think you have a bad idea with this about team building techniques for each district, because we do need to start not just talking about it here, but we actually need to take it out into the streets. And all those is not going to help our budget woes. We need to feel comfortable. We need to have an inviting community. We have to have nice homes. We have to have well-maintained streets, because that's our pride. And if we have that, I'm hoping that it may trickle down or filter down. And if they don't understand, teach them. It's hard, and I know there's a lot of kids around. My God, I just drove up the street, and it's like 45 degrees coming here, and I'm freezing, and I have my windows up. And there's a group of kids playing basketball, you know, and they're throwing out their litter and doing this and doing that. And maybe it was just absent-mindedly thinking. I don't think they're doing it on purpose, because I just want to have litter in front of your house. I don't think it's anything like that. I just think it's mindless. But it's just stuff that, hey, you know what, please don't do that. We live here, you live here, this is our city, and we need to just take it back. And we keep talking about that, but we need to find ways to do this. Now I'm going to jump to another topic, unfortunately, which is, you know, one of the reasons why I voted yes for us having a summer recess or a summer schedule. Council meeting, it's good for you to be here and hear our reports, but mostly what we do at council meeting is just pass legislation. What's important for you all to attend, if you really want to hear the nuts and bolts, you don't hear what we do back in that little room, you don't hear our caucus, you don't hear us arguing, you don't hear the grandstanding, you don't hear the complaining. But if you actually listen to when we are going to have our working committee meetings, you are invited to that. And although you may not be able to speak, you hear what we have to say. You hear what we're arguing about. You hear how we decide to vote on changing an ordinance. And that's important. And then you have the opportunity to talk to your individual council person and say, well, how are you going to vote on this? Because I need to talk to you about this. These are my concerns. So there's going to be a number of meetings throughout the summer, and it doesn't matter if we just have one council meeting, because we're just preparing legislation, which are just laws or resolutions, or even if it is a feel-good thing, just to make people feel appreciated. But it's important to also come, if you're available, pick your topic. We are going to have a finance committee meeting. You want to hear what our treasurer has to say, or our finance director? That's the time to come and listen. Unfortunately, you can't speak. You want to hear anything that has to do with housing issues? That's my committee. I would love for you to call me. I would love to see if there would be people that would like to join my committee in trying to make the city better. Edwina, I'm sure you do not mind if you have residents that come to listen to your committee meeting, and if they want to participate or if they want to help out, we can't do this by ourselves. We could sit up here and we could talk about ideas, and we want to do this and we want to do this. Single-handedly, we can't do this. And I'm not talking about the, oh, it takes a village kind of thing, because you know what, it's true, but it takes everybody to come together. And I see that there's differences in this room, there's differences of opinion, there's differences about what we're saying and what people agree on or don't agree on. We all have the commonality, at least, that we could agree on. We want to keep the city a good place to live. And we have to start with that, and we have to work together. And it doesn't matter who says what about what. Let's just remember that common bond. We are all residents, we all live here, we want a good quality of life. And I'll be the first person to say, I need help with that. So if you want to help me, I love to deal with housing issues. If anybody's interested in that, or if they want to hear more about foreclosures or abandoned homes or about the problem like what Alex had, he's my best councilman. He calls me all the time. And sometimes there's solutions, and sometimes there's not. There are tools that I could teach to help you so that you're more empowered and we don't feel helpless. So take us up on that. And I'm hoping that, you know, we actually would have a more up-to-date website, but we all have Facebook, we all have pens and papers, and we all have telephones. So There is a list on the table, and I'm sorry I'm talking too long, but there's a list on the table with all of our phone numbers. There's also a list that tells you like what committees we're on. So if you want to join, be a part of, or have suggestions, please do it, because we do need to have your help. And happy Easter.
Thank you, Tony. Councilman Ceferatti, District 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to extend my thoughts and prayers out to the family of the gentleman who was shot at the Prime Station over on Grandview Road in District 3. It just shows us how fragile life is, and we need to appreciate each other a little bit more. I also want to say Happy Easter to everybody, and I also want to say to Chief Merritt's, congratulations, happy retirement, enjoy it, and thank you. End of report.
Thank you, Anthony. Councilman Jackson, District 4.
Thank you. Bear with me, I got a little head cold here. Hopefully I can get through this real quick. Chief Merritt, congratulations. Thank you for your years of service. Linda Bopat, thank you for a successful Easter Fest again. I'm privy to come up to the Senior Center quite a bit, and the work that she does and her staff is quite remarkable. She's really, and her staff is hardworking. My district, we have a sewer repair job that's going on Thomas Street. It's like a sinkhole. They're going to start working on, the county is going to start working on that tomorrow. I know the residents that ride down that street are going to be grateful for that. Getting a lot of calls about renter and landlord issues, also about noise and pet issues. We do have ordinances that govern those things. I'm going to be getting those out to the people. But if we could just be nice and good neighbors to each other, I think would help a lot of that. We know when our music's too loud. We know when our dog is barking at 3 a.m. in the morning, that it's probably going to wake our neighbors. I want to say thank you, just to start with, thank you to Trey Williams for taking on this project of the Maple Heights Boys League. In fact, he didn't give his email address. If you want to get a hold of him, because he needs volunteers, he can also probably use some money. His email address is mapleheightsboysleague@gmail.com. All one word. I've donated some balls to him already. I've also committed to provide a glove. And I'd like people to maybe just consider doing something good for one of the organizations that we have around the city, whether it's Boy Scouts, youth program at church, whatever it might be. Also, Trey, I have an envelope for you up there, too. One of my favorite quotes is that if a lot of people do a little, then a few people don't have to do a lot. If everybody in this room would just take $5 and put that $5 together and give it to an organization, that organization, I think, would be greatly appreciative of it. I think we all could forego 1 pack of cigarettes a month, or 1 beer, or a Big Mac. I could really do away with that 1 Big Mac. So just think about volunteering your time, your efforts. A few dollars would be greatly appreciated, I think, for your neighbors. In the report.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Councilman Brownlee, District 5.
Thank you, Madam President. Last year's Memorial Day was wonderful. It really was. I enjoyed, it's the first time I marched in it. Had a friend, actually, who I served in Iraq with. We both marched together. We actually more like ran from one side to the other, to the other, to the other, because we tried to shake just about everyone's hand on the way down. And it was very meaningful to people. There were a number of people who actually cried, and it was just a beautiful experience. There was one lady sitting up on her porch along Libby, who she was back on her porch. Everyone else was lined up along the street, and I happened to notice her back there, and I ran back to say hello to her. And she almost did let me leave her porch. she loved to have someone in uniform up there saying hello to her. And I encourage you all to come out. It's a wonderful, maybe the best community event we have all year here in Maple Heights. And you get to see and show appreciation for a lot of people who have given about as much as you can give without giving your life. And we commemorate those who did make the ultimate sacrifice. So please, join me, join the Veterans Associations and the rest of us out on Clement and Libby and Lee, and we're going to end, of course, at the memorial and have a memorial service. So please, consider joining us on that day. Maybe postpone your picnic for just a little while to join us. Easter is coming up. Just a few days away. We're going to commemorate not the death, but the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. A great day of victory. One thing I think we need to understand, though, it would be good for us to remember, is that he didn't merely come to show fairness or to be nice to people or merely to show grace. He did come to do that. But ultimately what he did was satisfy justice. He satisfied justice for us, that all who come to him might be forgiven of their sins. But justice is really probably the most core attribute to God next to love. So justice should be equally important to us. And for us as a city, made up of individuals, it should be important to us as a city, as a community. Justice, not being nice, not just getting along. You can't have those things without justice. And that's why, as tonight, I voted to not suspend the rules for the homestead change, to support the change in homestead tax. I looked at that, and as someone else pointed out, brought to my attention, I said, you know what? This applies to people, elderly, whom we love, who make more than $30,000. Why should they get a tax break when, if I make $30,000, I don't get a tax break? I can pay my taxes with that amount of money. And I thought, as far as justice goes, it's not fair to only tax one portion. You look at the sin tax, same thing. You look at many things. We're talking about justice here, not being nice. Our community must be based upon justice that affects taxes. It affects enforcement of our regulations. You're not being nice to someone by telling them, oh, you don't have to fix your gutter, you don't have to mow your grass just yet. What you're doing is punishing their neighbors who do cut their grass, who do keep up their homes. That's not just. We can't bend the rules in that way. It affects communication. We heard tonight that you can't speak if you come to a committee meeting. Who says? Who says? We make the rules governing the committee meetings. We could let you speak if we wanted to. We could do that. We just sit here and say, oh, can't do it. Can't do it. It's the rules. Oh, who makes the rules around here? Last I checked, it was the 7 of us. If we wanted to hear you, we could do whatever we wanted to hear you. We also heard that these meetings twice a month, they're only for legislation. Who says? Who says? Oh, once again, we say. We set the laws. We say this is how it's going to be done. We could have more discussion if we wanted to. I think many of us, frankly, don't want to. The less you know, in some of our minds, truly the better. And I'm sorry. It also affects things very practical, like our property values. We want to say, as a city, oh, they reduced our property values. That's why we are where we are. Okay. Take that. Well, let's back up just one step. Why did our property values get reduced? Because the county just came in like a dictator and said, I'm reducing your property value. No. our values had already gone down. Why had they gone down? Maybe because, like everyone's saying, our city is looking less and less appealing every year. We want to say, oh, no, it's not. Oh, what do you say? Oh, what are you saying? You don't like our city? What are you saying? Okay, yeah, that is what people are saying. You even heard it tonight, that I would move away if I could. It's not the first time I've heard that. It's not the first time I've heard that. We can ignore it. We can sit up here and say, well, them's the rules. Them's the rules. We can't hear from you. We can't, and I hate to belabor this point. No, actually, I don't hate to belabor this point because it's true. We gave you 4 hours notice on it, probably, to get to a public hearing on the most important thing we do every year, the budget. We put it in the neighborhood news. Guess what day it gets published? Wednesday. What day we have that meeting? Wednesday. We had it the same day it was announced. If that's not 4 hours, please explain it to me. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's why I voted no to go into the public hearing, because there was no public hearing. It was a farce. We didn't even have a document in our hands to say, this is what it's about. Can you make a comment on it? As we remember Easter, a wonderful day of grace, remember it's also a day of justice. Justice was fulfilled, and it needs to be fulfilled here in our city right now in 2014 also. May you enjoy your weekend, and may God bless Maple Heights.
Councilman Trojanski, District 6.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. I just want to congratulate Chief Merritt on his retirement and happy bon voyage. Have a good, wonderful retirement. I know the much anticipated Finance Committee meeting will be on Wednesday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. in Room 7 at Maple Heights City Hall. So if you're interested in wondering what's happening with the city's finances, you are more than welcome to come out. It is a public meeting. This is the first Finance Committee meeting because we hadn't have a budget to look over to have a Finance Committee meeting. And so now we finally have had that budget passed, and we'll have a Finance meeting. And everyone's talking about transparency and communication and civic engagement, but on May 3rd and May 10th for District 6 residents, I'm having a community meeting at the library on May 3rd and 10th from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. in meeting room number 1. And that's an opportunity for the District 6 residents who have issues or concerns or solutions to our district's challenges to come out and to let their voice be heard. I want to hear what are on the residents' minds. I want to hear what issues affect you, what issues affect your families. I think it's very important that we have transparency, we have civic engagement. I would encourage other council members to do so. It's very important that we're communicating. Everyone's talking about communication. Well, here's an opportunity to communicate with your council person. So I encourage you all to come out if you're from District 6 to the meeting on May 3rd and May 10th. And with that, I conclude my report. Happy Easter.
Thank you, Richie. I'll try to be quick since we have lingered a little bit here. There are a couple of things on the back table. One of them was an explanation sheet that we have been providing for several meetings now, which talks about the state of the city and the rationale for the RETA tax addition, which is going to be on the ballot on May 6th. That is issue 15. And if you need any more information, we'd be glad to chat with you about it. And make up your own minds as far as what it is you wish to vote on that, yay or nay. But there should be information on the back table. Also, I'm still peddling seeds if anybody is interested in some. I noticed that the flower seeds went, but the vegetables didn't. Shame on you. Veggies are good for you. We have been very successful with the meeting that we had for the community garden and have attracted several new gardeners, and looks like we're going to have a successful season, hopefully with just the right amount of rain, the right amount of sun, and good soil, and a lot of back-breaking digging of weeds. But for all of us, we appreciate them coming out. newspaper this morning had something that I thought someone here might be interested in. If you will want to share this with your youngsters, your children, it's a summer jobs program, and this is for income guidelines. They do have income guidelines, but it's for ages 14 to 24. And if you get on a website, you can apply for the possibility of a summer job. And this is for all of Cuyahoga County, so our boys and girls might be interested, and some of those young men who sit on the porch kind of waiting for a job to come up. This might be a great thing to do. It's www.youthopportunity.org. And it starts on the 15th and goes through May 9th. So you do have time to take a look and see if there's something that you can apply for. And there's also some job opportunities on the back table as well. The only other thing that I have is just a suggestion for the residents on Lafayette. And we talked about the block watches, and they really do a good job. You have to take back your own street. You can call the police, absolutely, and they'll be there. You can do many other things. You can close your windows. You can do other things to show your unhappiness with all of that. But what you also can do is form your own little community block watch on your street. What you'll do is take back that street by not allowing that to go on. One person can't do it, but gather together, and a little bit of unity is strength. So it's generally run by one of the council persons, but that doesn't mean that if you live in district whatever, you can't start a block watch or just a gathering on your own. I mean, get angry enough to take back your street. Beyond that, I don't have any more information for you, so I'm going to no business here, so the meeting is adjourned at 8:47, and thank you for coming.